All right, everyone, welcome back to another Jujutsu Kaisen Phantom Parade video. So, today's video is gonna be once again another tier list. Now, it's been like, was it a month, 2 months since my last tier list? I can't even remember. But the main difference that kind of warranted, in my opinion, a change or update on this is the fact that the inclusion of SP buffs. And that's going to be these characters with the gold frame around them. Versus, there's the standard characters in here, and then the gold framed characters are that character with their SP buffs. So, yeah, just wanted to get that discrepancy out of the way. That's why there's going to be like two or multiple of the same one. Just because I want to make some distinctions between the character's normal kit and the character's kit after SP buffs. So, because some of these characters, namely like Nanami, go from like C tier to A tier or B tier, stuff like that, depending on, how I'm feeling about things. So, yeah, and plus a bunch of other characters have come out since the last one. Like this guy is on Global. This girl is about to be on Global. This guy just released on JP. So, yeah, I feel like it's high time for this month's July tier list. So, without further ado, let's just get right into it. This Suguru Gato is a great unit. I don't have him yet, unfortunately, but every single time I'm looking up like the highest damage floor clears with the either sweep battle or tower, this guy seems to be a very consistent mention, I would say. He is almost always accounted for. He's almost always actually on those blue teams. So that's why I feel like I'm ranking him so highly. He's a solid unit. I wish I had him, but unfortunately, dude, I don't. So he could be S tier because of that, or he could be B tier. Maybe he's just niche. But I think A tier is probably the best fitting place for him, just because of how often I'm seeing him on those cleared runs. So, yeah, I'm pretty confident with that. Following it up, we have Satoru Gojo, which this may surprise a lot of players. I think I've always had him in the S tier, and maybe I should have him maybe bottom of S tier. He's still a phenomenal unit, especially for accounts that are new, and this is basically a free to play unit. If you pick this unit, you chose the right choice, because he is going to carry you to victory on so many rounds and runs and whatnot. The only thing I'd say holding him back, he's very, how would I say this? He's pretty essential to a lot of those tower floors, especially the early ones, if you don't have that many good units. The only thing I'd say holding his back, Jesus Christ, holding him back is the fact that he's got the turn limit. After 7 turns, he's just gone, which is fine. I in some situations you want to have him as your backup character anyway. I would say, do I think he's more important than Gato? I might even say, dude, it's hard. We'll come back to it. I think A tier, bottom of S, maybe. I think he's kind of fallen off a little bit. Maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel that way, certainly. So, next up we have Jogo. Now, Jogo, without his SP buffs, is pretty okay. He's serviceable at best. I don't dislike him. People will say, oh, he's terrible or awful, but I really don't think he's that bad of a unit. Is he on the tier of these guys? Definitely not. But do I think he's an awful unit? Absolutely not. But, without his SP buffs, that's pretty much all I can say. And unfortunately, I don't have him SP buffs, so I can't really put a comparison on him. This is all kind of based on what I know and what I've actually worked with. So until I actually play with him, we're just going to leave him in B tier until we actually, maybe he's S tier, but, he's the Jogo after all. But I'm pretty confident with B tier. Now, on to the big dog, Sukuna. He is by far one of the best DPSs in the game. Do I think he's the best DPS in the game currently? Hard to really say. I'm still inclined to agree that he is. I really do want to make a comparison video between him and Awakening Green Gojo to kind of compare and contrast, maybe who's out damaging who. Uh, Overall, I would say, he's just got such a strong kit. The fact that he's like healing himself every other turn, damn near, it seems like. He's also got, if you build up that 90 curse energy, that skill 3 does like that's basically like a miniature ultimate in and of itself. His ultimate does so much fucking damage, AoE damage, and bleed and laceration. That laceration has saved me on a lot of runs where he just ends the enemy before they have a turn to react. And then like optimal run is that you do skill 1s, like skill 2, skill 1, and then like when you can use your ult. If you get skill 3 with the cursed energy at 90, use that, use your ult. Then you have that 1 turn of cooldown, and then you can use that skill 3 twice for 90 cursed energy. Dude, he's just bar none the best DPS in the game. Do I think he's going to age poorly? I think eventually he is going to start falling, but right now I think he is still really, really high on that leaderboard. So interesting one. I don't have him. Obviously, he's not even on the global side. Do I think he's a bad unit? No, I would say maybe A tier based on what he knows. He's able to get that second attack off and whatnot. He does pretty solid damage, but other than that, it's hard for me to really put him in S tier. S tier is for like the best units, and then the gods are like the best couple of units in the game, possibly bar none. So yeah, I'm putting him right here for now. This Toge, I think is okay based on everything I've seen about him. That's about it. That's all I have to say about him. Jogo I think Jogo's possibly like right here. It's hard for me to tell without his actually using his SP buffs. People say he out damages Sukuna, which is crazy to me to think about. But until I use him, I'm just gonna keep him in tier A for now. It's hard for me to justify it, but we'll see. We'll see. This Yuji is a solid unit. I like him. He does a lot for your. I want to say a lot. He's a solid blue DPS. For a while I had him up in A tier, but I think A is getting kind of top heavy. A is very, very full of very good units, and it's hard for me to justify putting him up here. His only versatility is the fact that he is consistently getting like, what has he got? He's got his resurrection status, and that's about it. That's what divides him from the rest of the UGs. Really, is that little gimmick right there. Sure, you can talk about his skills a little bit more, but ultimately, when it comes down to it, that's like his specialty. Like the special part about him is that he can revive. Which, like, dude, if you're getting down to the revive, he's gonna die anyways. He'll what's the big difference between turn 3 or turn 4? Basically, you know what I'm saying. So, I mean, he's solid. Definitely a good blue unit, and he got announced for SP buffs on JP. So. Expect that to come up within the coming months, so he could be very, very good here soon. Noritoshi Kamo is the first like C tier I'm gonna put. He's like whatever. He doesn't do a whole lot. Same kind of predicament with Yuji is that he just doesn't have any roles that he fills on the team. I might even put him. I might put him right there. They both of them just don't have any roles to fill on the team. The only difference is that this guy is like he juices himself up and then he's doing like just a little bit more damage, and that's about it. He's whatever. I might even put him down here. No, Red Maki still exists, so I'm keeping him right there for now. But we'll see. He also gets the SP buffs on JP here soon, so expect both Kamo and this Yuji to rise on the tier list. This Maki I don't have, and I've heard she's good. So possibly like right here. I don't know, dude. It's hard for me to gauge. She seems pretty solid based on the kit that I read, but like, dude, she's not better than some of these other characters that are above her. I in my personal opinion. But until I actually were to use her and everything, it's hard for me to judge. I'm putting her there. Miguel, however, is possibly the worst limited unit in the game. Like, he's solid, don't get me wrong. He's a good blue option, I suppose. But, dude, is he saving you runs? I don't think so. I think if anything, there's just better options out there, and you know, dude, he's just whatever. From what everything I understand, he's the worst limited in the game. Like, why do you? I wish he was better, especially for a cool character who literally 1v1s Gojo. But I can't make the kit, so it is what it is. This Miwa, however, is just nothing, dude. I got nothing for her. She's got exactly that's it. She's got nothing. She's got nothing. So whatever, kind of a mid unit, as super mid unit. There's nothing going on for her, in my opinion. This Momo though is phenomenal. And I really like this Momo. I think this Momo is the first S tier that we've gotten so far. Honestly, she does a whole lot. She's aiding up the allies' attack as well as critical chance and whatnot. So very, very good option in case you're struggling to figure out like maybe a support unit. She's one of the best supports in the game. So keep that in mind. I definitely an S tier. This Nanami, however, I haven't used, but I think, as far as I'm aware, dude, he's the worst of the Nanamis. So C tier. Toto, I'm just going to rate just this guy and put him in the poopy diaper tier because he's just not a good unit. Maybe this guy is like right here, but I'm not confident enough in that to know. So we'll see once he gets his I awaken him and everything. So next up is this Satoru Gojo, this Hollow Purple Gojo. Putting him in top of A. These guys are like neck and neck in my opinion. Everything I know is that they're, this green Gojo is basically this guy, but just a little bit better. You could put him bottom of S tier, but other than that, I'd say A tier. He's fulfilling a lot of the same roles that this blue Gojo is. The problem is that, both of these guys are just not as valuable anymore. Their role has been filled by other units. This guy is this Sukuna is just way better than this guy in every single way. And then this Gojo has now been pushed off the leaderboard because he's got two very strong contenders for green DPS that literally just never leave the battlefield unless they die. So yeah, absolutely A tier. Still very solid unit. You can't go wrong. Has been very instrumental for clearing a lot of stages, but these guys are starting to show their age, man. They really are. Like Curse Sweep Battle, they don't do shit to Curse Sweep Battle when you need to have longevity DPS rather than quick burst DPS. Yeah, these guys are showing their age. They're not that good anymore. They're still solid units, but today's current role in the game is that these guys are whatever. Now, we're on to some other units that I think are good. This Yuji was maybe B tier, if I had to be honest. I didn't even notice we're in the green units now, but, this Yuji was B tier for a while. A solid option if you didn't have anyone else to run with you to do some good DPS. He was a solid option. He filled the niche a little bit, Then this guy came along, and he was just better than him in every single way. He was able to get so much like damage out in a quick amount of time. But now, let's just go ahead and get it out of the way. I think this guy is the first SP S tier, dude. I think he's phenomenal. He is such a good unit. And putting this in perspective, we'll get to it in a moment. But I think what he is doing is comparable to a lot of like premium units. And dude, I might put him here. He is just that good. He does so much fucking damage. Granted, I have him Awakening 5, but like, dude, it's crazy how just small changes is able to just push a character and like push them so high up on a tier list and like push them up in my mind of how good they are. Like he's a must pick whenever I'm building a green team. Just straight up. Just there's nothing else I can say about him but sing his praises. He's a great unit. And that's all I'm going to say on that, dude. I think he's better than this guy. This guy fucking leaves, and this guy still outdamages him. So, yeah, again, these guys are showing their age, both of these Gojos that leave the battle. There's only one that I think is actually still in S tier and possibly, actually, no, I'd probably say up in the tip-top tier list. And you already probably know who I'm talking about. But these Gojos, mid as fuck. This green Yuji, one of the best green DPSs in the game. And the best part is he's damn near fucking free. He's free for players to have. You basically just get him from the standard banner, or if you pulled him from, like, say you chose him as your ticket character when you first played this game. Yeah, he is just... I could sing his praises all day. This Nanami is probably B. Dude, I'd probably put him in C tier by himself. He's solid, but, like, he's just not that great in terms of just anything. Like, he was helpful to have with this Yuji whenever you need him, and, like, they were a pretty solid pair, but, you know, until he gets his SP buffs, he's just whatever, which his SP buffs are here. Do I think he's the same tier as Yuji? No. But I think he is a tier below. I think he is an A tier. I think he is a very solid unit. Especially, namely, I would say the... Let me rethink. I'm B tier, possibly. Yeah, I think B tier is better. He has great situations where I'd say he's as good as this Yuji. But I would say, honestly... You know, a big problem with him is that, like, you know, his skill 3, which is his skill that you primarily want to use, is still, like, 30 cursed energy. And, like, I don't think it does that much damage for how expensive it is. Like, people don't understand 30 cursed energy is a lot of cursed energy. And I just feel like he is... You know, when you get his ultimate, he's doing crazy numbers. If you're getting him lots of crits, like, he's up here, he's up here... But the problem is like he's kind of an RNG. I would say that, but Yuji is too. But it feels like Yuji feels better. Like Yuji feels like he's stronger and he's more consistent with it. When this Nanami, I feel like, is just not. Nanami, like, let me put it this way: if you have a group full of enemies, like if you have like 4 or 5 enemies or something, like his ultimate, he's doing more damage than Yuji. But if it's a 1v1, I think this Yuji is clearing every single time. Do I think this Nanami is the same tier as this guy? Maybe bottom of A? It's hard for me to gauge, dude. Let's keep him in B for now. He is definitely better than what he was. Like, and his damage is good. Where he really shines... yeah, I'd probably put him bottom of A. I had to be honest. Yeah, bottom of A, top of B. Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with that placement. Panda, dude, a C tier. Honestly, something like this. Tanks just don't have much purpose in this game. A while ago I had him like higher, but dude, I think, you know, tanks, he's good whenever you're starting out and you need some survivability, but later in the difficult content, he's just nothing, dude. Like, as a unit, as a strategy, like, there's no room for him. There really isn't. You know, the most difficult content in the game is usually, like, a strong DPS, some good supporters, and if you're lucky, maybe a healer if you have Shoko, but other than that, dude, like, there's no need for tanks or anything. I don't know. I don't understand what they're thinking with him. Hopefully when he gets the SP buffs, like he jumps to like A tier or something, at least a little bit more usable. But for now, he's just so kind of a whatever unit. Yeah. Meanwhile, this Gato, I'm call me crazy. Listen, hear me out. I do think in the current game's health, with how crazy and absolutely top heavy these green units are, dude, they just announced a Choso on JP that is like a green damaging support. Like every single move he makes increases the amount of damage the enemy is taking from green types. I was thinking about making a video about this, but I do believe green is possibly the best type in the game. Because the last, like, dude, like, let's just pull this up real quick. Continue to site. The last, like, 4 characters on JP have been green. like 3 of the 4 characters on JP have been green. They released him. They released him or her. Sorry. They released this guy, and that which broke up the norm, and then they're releasing a green Choso. The last 3 of 4 characters have been green on JP. Not to mention it's so top heavy. This guy is phenomenal. This guy is still not bad. Don't get me wrong. Spoilers, but this guy is great. This guy is solid. Like, this guy is phenomenal. This guy is phenomenal. Like, green is so top heavy that someone like this Suguru Gato, in my opinion, is so valuable. I might put him in bottom of S because of how valuable he is with today's current like climate and how strong these green units are and how valuable it is for you to have someone like him who is able to like kind of what does he do? Let's remind ourselves real quick. Increases the selected enemy's Jujutsu damage received by 12% for 4 turns, or by 20% for 4 turns for green types, as well as, right here, increases the selected enemy's Taijutsu damage received by 20% for 4 turns for green types. And then he's just like a solid DPS unit on his own. He increases break damage, increases maximum cursed energy, recovers on cursed energy. But I would say these little moments right here, which is 90% of what you're going to be using on this guy anyways. Ideally, especially with this Gato where you want cursed energy, you're never going to use this. It's always going to be Cursed Spirit Manipulation 1 or 2 if you're playing your cards right. So, dude, is that to say that this guy is better, or this guy is better than the blue Gato? No. But I think just where the game's current climate is, having this guy, this green Gato, is maybe possibly a little bit more valuable with how many of these amazing green units there are. Minus my Miwa. All right. So, now tying it all together, who's one of the best units in the game? This green Gojo. And I made a video recently very detailed on how he is supposed to be run. And when you run him the way that you're supposed to, whenever he gets cooking, he's doing damn near 1,000,000 attacks, or 1,000,000 damage every single attack without ultimating. Like, he is that good. And I know that's hard to, like, wrap your head around, like, because if you play with him initially, you're just like, dude, where's the damage? Why? People told me he's busted. He's not. Which is definitely the same thing that I was thinking, but you want to run this guy in a specific way in order to get his maximum potential. Like, I was using him, I was getting 800,000 every single attack, which, you know, some units are ultimating and they're reaching that number barely. I mean, he's doing it every single turn, dude. And then throw in his ultimate on top of that, his hollow purple, that's a shit ton of damage. And not to just, you know, keep singing his praises, but the fact that he's, unlike this Sukuna who's mainly all DPS, this guy has so many more kits in the bag. You know, he's got his resurrection status. He's got his counter status. He's just got so much going for him. He's got an AoE as well if you need to, lowers enemies' attack. Like, he's got a lot going on. He is not just a one-trick pony. He's kind of got a little bit going on each. So he is such a cool unit, and I really do enjoy the way they made this character. And I hope to see more characters like this in the future where you can run it one certain way if you really want the damage. But if you just, like, there's other ways you can run him. Versus Sukuna, it's just, fuck it, we ball. We just slash until they die. Like, I mean, which, don't get me wrong, that's fun. But, you know, this guy is fun in a different way. So, yeah, definitely, I would put him up there. Moving on to Kokichi Muda. Dude, I wish I had him so I could put, like, these two together and, like, kind of decide who's the best of these two, like, as second runner-up for green DPS. This guy was barely beating out this Yuji who's completely maxed out and he has no dupes or anything in him basically. So, I mean, just goes to show, like, if he were to be maxed out, how good he would be. Versus this guy, you know, I might put him right there just for the sake of brevity. Like, I imagine he is better than this guy, but I just, until I were to, you know, actually run him, you know, I'm putting him right there. I feel like that's fair. Like, again, look at all these characters. So far, We've got 4 characters above S tier. And well, guess what? We're about to add another one with Mahito. This Mahito is such a good unit. He's kind of a one-trick pony, with his problem being mainly that, with him, your main goal is to keep doing his little skill 2. You want to get that evasion. You want to build up your ultimate, and then you just want to, as soon as you get your ultimate, use it, and it does like a percentage amount of damage, I believe, to them. Is that right? Let's just fact check that real quick. I'm like 90% sure it's a percentage amount of damage. There you are, buddy. Yeah, deals damage equal to 15% of all enemies' HP. So, like, that is a very strong technique. Like, just no matter how strong that enemy is, 15% of their HP gone. Just blink of the eye, just straight up eviscerated, which means a lot, especially when you got other characters that you can use to worry about, like actively doing the most DPS. But this guy, you can give him a recollection bit that draws the enemy attack, and you use that skill 2, which grants you evasion. Like, no one's taking damage. He's kind of like a meat shield. Like, let's be honest, this guy's a better tank than this Panda, solely because, like, you can give him evasion and draw enemy attack. Dude, if they made Panda like draw attack and gave him evasion, he would be sitting up here, but he's not. He's not that good. He's not that guy. This Mahito is that guy. I would say he's up there, dude. He's instrumental, and he is essential to a lot of tower runs. Yeah. Yeah. Next up, we have this green Maki. She's solid. Cats have been saying that this Maki is better, and I'm kind of inclined to agree. Like, she seems strong, but I'm not that impressed. Like, honestly, I'm not super impressed with her. I could take it or leave it with her. Honestly, I think I like this guy SP buffed more than her. I mean, that's not to say her ceiling isn't higher. Like, if she was Awakening 5 and like had SP buff, she'd be like right here or something, but like she doesn't. At least on my account, she's just kind of whatever. Personally. Other than that, dude, I got nothing else going for her. This Megami I heard is good. Unfortunately, I don't know. He could be like up here, or he could be like down here. I really don't know. I think he's good. I'm putting him in A tier. Miwa, whatever, dude. Yeah, I think she's got her counter status, but yeah, she's whatever. Honestly, I couldn't tell you which one is better between the two, but I just know she's not great. This Nobara, hard for me to gauge. Like, she's solid, but is she, would I say she's better? I'd say comparable. Comparable for sure. Saki Rindo, dude. Unfortunately, I can't even speak for her. I don't have her. I know she was strong, like a solid option. Maybe like right here. Maybe a little bit better. Probably. Would I say possibly better than her? Hard for me to tell. I'm comfortable with this right here, though. Now this Blue Megami. So this unit, I would say, started out maybe bottom of A or bottom of B or something. His SP buffs push him up slightly. Do I think he's doing the best damage possible? No. But what really gives him a lot of value in my eyes, personally, it's going to do, you have ad blocker. Oh, yeah, whatever. What I think gives him a lot of value, especially on the blue teams, is his skill 2. Which is basically, 200% damage to the enemy, but increases selected enemies' Jujutsu damage received by 15% for 3 turns, effective for blue type attacks. So, like, when paired with this Sukuna, he's doing quite a bit. I'd probably put him probably somewhere up here. Like, I would say is he as useful as this guy? No, but he's right next to him, I would say, right? He's a good unit. You want to have him. And you want to pair him up with, like, these heavy hitters like Sukuna, where they just do more attack damage. Not to mention, like, he also does other stuff, too. I believe this Divine Talk Totality increases his own break damage, which is always nice. 120% damage, ignores darkness. That's solid. That's useful in some situations. I'll surpass you, yada, 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 yeah. Yep, I'm pretty comfortable with that. A tier. I'd say he's A tier. Um, do I think this guy is S tier? No, I think in some situations he can be. But other than that, I would say he's yeah, by himself is whatever. Like he's still pretty important, but would I say he's important than these guys beforehand? No. Now I'd say he's a bit more. He holds his own quite a bit better. This Shoko, one of the best. Again, can you see the pattern that's going on here with green units? Especially this guy, this girl, this guy, and then like possibly the Choso that's coming out. I think is going to be S tier. Personally, like green is so top heavy, it's not even fucking funny. Like there's no shit. Fucking Satoru Gojo has fallen down. There's so many other units that do what he's doing but better, and they stay in the game longer. So yeah, this should like leave no explanation why she's up here. She heals. She boosts her allies. Let's pull her up. Where's she at? There she is. She boosts her allies. She's able to heal. Yeah, look at that. Increases all green allies, Taijutsu, and Jujutsu stat by 65% for 3 turns. And she's healing. She's healing, and she's healing herself. She's auto-skill that heals herself, or heals the allies. Stealth status, decreases own damage received. Dude, she's phenomenal. She's a great unit. The rarest role in the game as a healer. So yeah, she's super fucking valuable. You should, if you pulled Gojo, your next goal should be having her, because like these two together are phenomenal. Especially if you got this Gato who's with all 3 of them. Oh, nasty team. Moving on up, we are into the red units now. Hanami, somewhere like right here. Cats say that Cats are saying that this guy is like so good and stuff. I don't know. I haven't used him. It's hard for me to judge with SP buffs. Again, I'm hoping to update this. Obviously, you guys probably watch this video and be like, dude, disagree with some placements. That's completely fine. I think disagreeing with some of my placements is completely good and healthy for discussion. That being said, do I think she's better than... She's solid. Bottom of A tier or something, I would say. She's a good unit. What's really good about her is the fact that she's able to kind of debuff the enemy, and that's her main role, is debuffing the enemy and everything. But it's hard to place her in today's climate because, a lot of the game... Like, there's a way better red debuffer who is doing what she does, but better. And, maybe once she gets some SP buffs, maybe she'll be top of A tier, maybe S tier, but I think bottom of A is just fine for right now. But yeah, Maki D tier. Red Nobara, I've heard she's good. Once she gets her SP buffs, where would I put her? Who would I use over these two? I definitely think I would use her more. But do I think... Would I use... Nah, I think right here is fine. This is like loosely ordered. I'm not sitting here and saying that this is definitively where they're going, but I'm pretty all right with that. This Domain Gojo, top of the tier. Dude, I would even put him right here. So the reason I made a video detailing all the characters that are coming back with this celebration that's currently going on Global, and I said that this Domain expansion Gojo is a must summon. If you don't have any of the 5 units, you should at least try to walk away with this guy. He is such a game changer. It's not even fucking funny. His ultimate is a win condition in and of itself. I would say, dude, you gotta. He's so fucking good. He's a definitive unit for red teams as a whole. So yeah, you guys definitely, if you don't have him, you're missing out, and I'm sorry. I'm just my heartfelt, sincerest apologies from the universe that you don't have this guy, because he is that good. He is him. I hope you guys pull him if you guys don't have him. But if you have him, you understand why. He is great. This Toge C tier. I refuse to elaborate. My C tier, I also refuse to elaborate. This Mei is a solid S tier or A tier for me. in terms of damage. She is a good damage unit. Would I put her S tier? Yeah, I could feel comfortable putting her in S tier or A tier. A tier. I don't have her. I can't say definitively. She goes to A tier. She's a solid unit. She's a good unit. And I think that in terms of damage potential, she's got a very high damage ceiling. But, in terms of other red DPSs, I think she gets beat out, and we'll get to that point. This Red Nanami is up there. I would say these are like the 5 possibly best units in the game. Am I wrong? Let me look at this. Confirm. Yeah, I would say so. These are like the 5 best units in the game. And the people wondering why for this red Nanami, well, it's very, very simple. It's just the fact that he's fucking disgusting, chat. This is whatever. His whole focus is not damage dealing. His role even says that. He's a support unit. The reasonings. Oh boy, the reasonings. Increases all allies damage dealt by 50%, effective for reds. That's phenomenal already. 20 curse energy. As well as increases all allies damage dealt by 90% for 4 turns. For red types, and his ultimate is increases the selected enemy's red type damage received by 20%, 4 turns, increases all allies damage dealt by 50%, 4 turns for red types. Not to mention harass student at the start of 6th turn, increase his own taijutsu. He boosts himself and everything. When critical hit dude, I'm surprised they don't have recommended memories up, but critical hit enhancement, when critical hit is performed, increases own taijutsu and jujutsu stat by 5%, but increases own critical hit rate by 30% for 4 turns. So, and recovers own curse energy by 5 is huge. The reason why I am putting him up here, dude, I might, dude. Oh my god, dude. Does he edge out Gojo? No, but dude, these 3 are such a toss-up. You could honestly make an argument for all 3 of these guys being anywhere. Like, okay, if you want to be objective about it, it might be something in literally like an ordered fashion. Something maybe like this. And people are going to be like, why is he so fucking low? He does like 1 million damage each attack. Like, yes, he's phenomenal. These guys are called the gods on this tier list for a reason. They're all fucking good. And I'm not going to sit here and say one is definitively better than the other besides Gojo being the best. He is the best. The rest of them could be in any fucking order for all I care. Dude, would I be inclined to put a tier above and put Gojo as the best unit? Possibly. Dude, I don't know. The reason being, if you need more of a definitive, really quick reason for why this Nanami is good, look no further than this idea. Listen, he's increasing on critical hit rate by 30%. Want to know what possibly, he doesn't have recommended memories on here. This is something I've literally just thought would be fucking busted. Gotcha standard. Where is it? I know it's in here. There it is. I will follow you, Mr. Nanami. When critical hit is performed, increases all allies' taijutsu stat by 20%. When command is activated, increases own critical hit rate by 30%. So not only this is probably the best recollection for that guy. Who would be a great taijutsu-based ally for red that would pair really well for him? I'll give you a hint. He's on the screen at this very moment. So a while ago, I made a video about who is the best red DPS in the game. And honestly, the video ended with me saying Yuta. I think Yuta overall does more damage, and he has more versatility. He's healing all allies. He's strong. He's a great unit. But with this Nanami, I did also say this guy is better, well-rounded, and probably going to age better because he takes no cursed energy for his skills, and all of his skills fit very specific utilization on the team. With this Nanami, I think it's definitive that he is just better. He's better than Yuta, I would say now because of this Nanami. You pair these two together, I don't think anything in this game is stopping you. This Toji has so much like utility that he's doing. Top it off that he's getting taijutsu buffs from this guy every time this Nanami crits. If you were to have this on, he's doing more damage. He's getting more boost. Dude, I think it's a nasty, nasty combo. And I think that alone pushes him up and edges Toji just a little bit further than this Yuta. You know, I love Yuta. Yuta's a great unit. Like the end of that video, I said I think he's better. But then, like not too long after that video, this Nanami dropped and just kind of like it was GG. It was just GG. So yeah, this Nobara I've heard is phenomenal. I've heard that she's like S tier. I can't confidently say it, so I'm putting her at the bottom of S tier. I still believe she is like one of the best red units in the game. But if I had to gun to my head pick one of these three that's the best, it's still Toji because you match him up with this Nanami. I think there's nothing. Panda D tier, fuck him. This guy D tier, fuck him. This guy I like him. The best way I can compare it is I do like him more than this. Do I like him more? No, I think I like him a little less. Dude, it's crazy to see how far these guys have fallen. Like, I feel like they're objectively... Dude, these guys right here are not bad. Fuck it, I'm putting them up. I put them right here. They're better than this Nanami. Dude, we're in such a realm of territory that I'm struggling to, like, it used to be easy. There was like half the fucking characters on the screen that I had to rank. Now there's just like, it feels like there's so many. Like, dude, this is all just SSRs. All right, well, let's just keep going. Satoru Gojo, one of the best yellow units in the game. Possibly... You know, I might make a comparison video between these two. I think objectively, this guy is more consistent with his damage, and he takes like no damage if you play him right. As well as this guy, you know, he doesn't do as much damage starting out, but the general consistency is that he is better overall. Until I actually use him, I just recently pulled him. I plan on making a video comparing the two. I do want to, I'll keep him right here for now. Yeah, I feel pretty confident. I'll keep him like right here. Ooh, that's going to be a good one to compare. Do I think which of these guys is better? I think he's still stronger. But dude, this guy, especially with the climate of the game, like right now with green being so good, he's right under him in terms of value. This guy I've heard is getting a SP buff. Until he does, he's right. You know, I put him in C tier because he's got one stage in tower where he's really good. Better than that, he's dog ass, dog. Dude, I've made the 3 tier list. I know nothing of this guy, so I'm keeping him. I'm putting him in D just because I don't know shit about him. Even this, I don't know shit about him. I don't know shit about the base unit. You expect me to know shit about the SP unit? Nah. This guy, dude, I would still say a strong contender S tier. Like, he came out super early in the game, and I still think he is like such a good unit. Like, he helps out the team so much, especially in some of those tower floors. Like, he's a great unit. I love him. Nobara, shit. She was okay, whatever. I think with her SB buff, she's like maybe B tier, if I had to guess. I have not used her yet, so it's hard for me to gauge. But, you know, until then, I'm going to keep her out of it. Kaido Yuki, this guy's a good unit. As far as I know, he's like actually a very solid yellow support unit. Unfortunately, don't have him, but you know, as everything I know about him seems pretty promising. I hope I pull him eventually. This Nanami, I think is worse than this guy. Yeah, I feel like this green Nanami is better than him. Do I think C tier, bottom of B? Yeah, bottom of B I feel pretty alright about. Shoko. Ooh, Shoko. S tier. Easy S tier, possibly bottom, top of S, bottom of the gods. I think she is strong, and like, you know, again, of course, filling these roles. Like, if you want to put in a role section based type thing, like she's up here. But like, do I want to say one is objectively better than the other? I would say green, but it's hard for me to concrete say that until I have both in my account and I'm using them both. But you know, as far as I'm aware, I do believe this green Shoko is the best, but she is like right behind her, dude. Yaga, I just pulled him and I'm excited to use him. I hope to use him. I think he's an S tier though. I think someone broke down the math of like units that give like the most boost per like percentage. I think he gives the most. So he's one of the best support units in the game, possibly better than her. So we'll see how that goes. I'd love to use him. Toge, B. Yeah. Whatever unit, I guess. And that's it. Wow. So this is the kind of the tier list. Maybe I'll pause real quick and I'll kind of adjust things to my liking real quick. All right, so I did some reorganizing. You might already notice some changes. Some notable ones being like this Gato I brought up a bit because, you know, he does kind of some similar things to this green one. And it's hard for me to have him in A tier and have this girl at S tier whenever I feel like, you know, how often I'm seeing this dude in some of those blue runs. It's pretty astounding, and, you know, it makes me want him even more. Again, it makes it a little it makes it a little bit more difficult to rank these units when I don't have some of them, dude. Like I can go on based of the information I know, but it's just one of those things where it's like, man, it's hard. It's hard to gauge. Some other notable changes that you might notice is like, oh, fuck. What's another one that I did? I did a little bit of moving around. I think I moved these guys a little bit lower and maybe changed some stuff up a bit. This guy rose up, I believe. But, you know, it's so crazy to see how far these characters have gone. They used to be, like, fucking essential units. Now I feel like their primary function is replaced by other units, and I think they're just kind of a bygone era. And, you know, what I'm trying to tell people is that DPS units age very poorly. You know, this is what I'm referring to. But namely, the reason being for these guys, what holds them back so much from at least staying up in S tier is the fact that they're stupid-ass fucking turn restrictions, dude. And I feel like, you know, this Gojo is doing, you know, 10 turns, that extra 3 turns makes such a difference, especially when his primary role is not being a DPS, dude. His primary role is not that to be a DPS. His primary role is to debuff the enemy and, you know, let other units, especially red units, 1, 2, 3, like 4. I mean, dude, like these other red units are going to shine. And dude, that's why these two are so high up on the list. Yeah. Dude, I'll have to make a comparison video between these two before I, like, settle on anything. So, I gave this guy 1 dupe, but maybe I should give him I don't know. Maybe I was thinking about giving this guy a dupe. We'll see. I'm pretty, overall, I think I'm pretty happy with the placements of some of these guys, dude. Until I pull some of these guys, especially like this guy, this Saki Rindo, it's hard for me to place them on this list. Much less without their SP buffs. For all I know, like, this guy could be a god, but, like, I don't know because I don't fucking even have him in his base form. I could read them up. Like, I've read up, like, on this Nobara, and she does seem very fucking good. That's why the only reason why she's up there compared to, like, some of these other SP buffs that down here, because it's like, dude, I hope she's good, but as far as I know, this girl is ass, so she might be as low as right here, but I don't know until I try it out. So let me know what you guys think. Do you, for the most part, at least agree with like the outline of this list, at least the key notes? What would you guys have differently? And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.